little friends, and welcome once again to From Mangoes to Maples, where stories from India travel all the way to your homes here in Canada. It's me, Millie, and in today's story, we travel to Kerala, the land of coconut palms bending in the breeze, backwaters glowing at the sunset, temple drums echoing across festivals, and monsoon rains tapping gently on tiled roofs. This story is called The Sacred Grove of Kavu. Across Kerala's villages, beside temples, tharavadu homes, and winding backwaters, small forest patches called Kavu were very lovingly protected as sacred spaces where nature was never disturbed. A kavu was not just a cluster of trees, it was respected land, quiet land, living land. Grandparents would tell children, inside the kavu, every root holds the soil, every leaf cools the air, and every creature belongs. Even during grand temple festivals, when lamps flickered and drums thundered, no one would ever cut a branch inside the grove. Snakes, birds, insects, and ancient trees lived there very safely. In one such village near a calm river lived a young boy named Akhil. Every Onam, his family would lay out a bright pukalam or a lovely flower decoration near the house, and his grandfather would point towards the kavu and say, "That grove there has protected this village longer than any of us." Akhil listened and knew that his grandfather has great respect for this grove. One summer, the heat grew intense. It was very hot. The river began to shrink. The wells dipped lower than anyone remembered. A businessman who had returned from the city stood before the villagers and said, "If we clear a part of the Kavu, we can build new shops and houses. Development will bring money. Money will bring comfort." Some villagers nodded because the idea did sound very modern. It sounded promising. But Akhil's grandfather said softly, "Comfort without balance does not last. This would be a terrible mistake." But not everyone paid heed to this. So a few trees at the edge of the grove were cut. That year, the monsoon came late. And when it finally arrived, it came fiercely. Rain lashed the earth, the river swelled angrily. Without the deep roots of the grove holding the soil, the river banks began to crumble. Mud filled the water, coconut trees leaned, fish disappeared. The villagers stood silently. They understood something. The Kavu had been quietly protecting them, holding water underground, cooling the land, anchoring the riverbanks, even when no one noticed. One evening, Akhil watched his grandfather stand before the grove, folding his hands and talking to the villagers. He heard him say, "My friends, we forgot that nature does not shout when it protects us. The earth looks after us in ways we can't imagine. The least that we can do is not destroy it." The people in the village then decided to restore the Kavu. Children planted native saplings. Festivals began to include prayers of the land. Respect returned. The following years started getting better, and nature did not seem as upset. Children, growing up here in Canada, your parents may sometimes tell you stories of monsoon rain soaking the red soil, the heartwarming smell of earth after the first rains, walking barefoot along paddy fields, climbing mango trees with friends during summer, watching elephants during temple festivals. Those stories, children, are not just memories, they are lessons. India taught us to live with nature, not above it. Here in Canada, you see maple forest, snowy parks, sparkling lakes, and wide open skies. When you protect your park, when you don't waste water, when you plant a tree, when you pick up litter, you are carrying India's values with you. When your family see you respecting nature here, it feels like a small piece of home has traveled safely across oceans. It's your turn now, children, to think of ways you can be kind to the trees, the lakes, the land around you. Nature protects us quietly, When you protect nature, you protect our future. You protect your future. So, children, it's not just our job to be good to fellow human beings, but also to nature. From India's land to Canada's snow, may seeds of kindness always grow.